60 minutes, Journey into Power, Power Yoga Flow. So let's start on the back of our mats, child's pose, like we always do. So you can come down to the back of the mat, have the knees spread wide or big toes to touch. Sorry, knees wide or knees together with the big toes to touch, depending on if you want to get into your hips or into your lower back. So just feel it out. Feel out what your body needs right now. And it is a power flow, but before we can start bringing in our power, I want us to integrate into the practice. And that's why we take our first few poses a little bit softer, with a little bit more ease, trying to allow ourselves to release any of the stresses of the day and just be here, be on your mat. Get out of your head and into your body. Sometimes that's easier said than done. So I want you to focus on your breath right now. Just noticing the flow of breath in and the flow of breath out. Maybe even notice how the body moves with the breath coming in. And as the breath goes out, there's almost a release, a sinking down onto the mat a little bit more. Soften your fingers. Soften the face. Just be here for a moment. Hello, Frankie. We've got a full house today. So nice to have so many faces on screen. Hello, Quofi. You're now connected. We're in our child's pose, softening, relaxing, integrating into the practice. Okay, start to walk your hands forward, tent up on the fingers, make your child's pose a little bit more active. So you're tented up spider fingers, pressing the finger pads into earth and driving your seat bones down and back. So you get length through the side body, stretching the intercostal muscles. Maybe your forehead stays on the mat. Could even do a little bit of a roll of your mind's eye, space between your brow, just waking up your intuition. Breathe in deeply, really full breath, and then open the mouth and let it go. Come up to hands and knees. Stack your shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and move into your cat-cows. Inhaling, heart forward, tailbone up. Exhaling to round the spine and press the mat away. This is the best place to really start to match your breath to movement. And if you want to close your eyes to move a bit more intuitively, you close your eyes. And maybe you do a little funky cat or take another posture, getting whatever movement you need to wake up your body. And then come back to stillness, tuck the toes, and come into your first downward facing dog. Pedal into one knee, pedal into the other knee. Move fast, move slow, or don't move at all. It's like, what does your body crave right now? Is it movement? Is it stillness? This is your practice, and I want you to move in line with what your body's telling you. Ujjayi breath. Drishti, 2 eyes, 1 point. And your foundations, all the tools of the practice. And we'll be talking to these and connecting with these throughout to stay present. Okay, if you're not still yet, then come to stillness and just take a big full breath in. And as you exhale, start to walk forward to your hands and hang in ragdoll. Feet can be hips distance or wider. You could grab opposite elbow, opposite wrist, or you could just let your arms dangle.
Yeah. Just feeling into your body. Maybe there's a sway, maybe there's a bounce. Oh, and Monique's joining too. We've got another one. This is so nice. My God, this is what happens when you get the WhatsApp group going. You've got the Instagram group going. People more and more joining. I love it. Okay, release the arms down. Big toes together to tips, little space between the heels, and start to roll up to stand. Bringing the arms up overhead, reach up, look up. Press the palms together and hug into the midline. So you're active from the floor into the core and out the fingers up to the sky. Full breath in. Hands come to heart center as you breathe out. Shut your eyes, set your intention for practice, whatever word to keep you focused and present. And if you start to drift, you come back to that intention. And we'll start with one Om together. Breathe in. Open the eyes. Reach up, extended mountain, get tall. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Shift your gaze between the shins. Come into a halfway lift. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Hands to the mat, step to plank, and just pause in your first plank, getting strong, building a little bit of static heat. Okay, if you need to drop your knees to maintain integrity, you drop the knees. I want you to pull the lower belly in and draw the crown of the head forward. So you're long, 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 and breathe deeply in. And as you breathe out, start to lower all the way down. Untuck the toes, long, low cobra. Elbows squeeze in, broaden the chest. Tops of the feet press down. Exhale through child's pose up to downward facing dog. And you come into your downward facing dog and reset. So those tools that I spoke to, you've got your hands, your feet, your core, your foundations, and you're pressing your hands and feet down into earth to pull into the core. And as you do that, you draw the seat bones up and back to create length. You're breathing deeply and fully, in and out through the nose. And then there's this soft, subtle gaze, drishti, 2 eyes, 1 point to keep you centered. And let's take one big full breath in and a long, slow breath out. And on empty, gaze forward, walk, step, jump to the front. Lift halfway, bow down, root down, rise all the way up, reach up to the heavens. Exhale, fold forward. Moving in line with your breath, halfway lift, flat back. Hands to the mat, high to low plank. Your vinyasa, you take your modification to move with integrity, upward facing dog or cobra, downward facing dog. And then reset. Okay, when we move through our vinyasas, this is your vinyasas. The point is to maintain integrity. And so you want to do what feels right for you. If chaturanga is good, you do your high to low plank. If coming all knees down and then all the way down to the mat into cobra is better because you're able to hold the integrity of your spine, then do that. There is no judgment. Neither one is better than the other. What's important is that you're doing it with choice and intention. Okay, breathe in, breathe out, lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, walk, step, or jump to the front. Lift halfway, bow down the legs. Root down, rise all the way up, stretch through your fingertips, pull into core, exhale, fold. Lift halfway, chaturanga dandasana or your variation modification. Glide into your up dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide, wide as they can be, like you're stretching the webbing in between each digit. And really press into the finger pads, especially pointer finger and thumb. And then spiral the biceps forward, triceps back. So the elbow tips are pointing down a little bit. And then from there, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Strong, 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 strong in your down dog. And the heels are weighting down like sandbags. Maybe they hit the mat, maybe they don't. It really doesn't matter. Full breath in, long breath out. Gaze forward, feet to hands. Lift half, lower belly's pulling in, bow down. Chair pose, take your seat, a deep seat. All of you sit deep and hug in. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs, and try to scoop the pelvis a little bit more up towards the chest. As you reach the arms up, fingers goes wide. You're gazing between your hands, breathing deeply, breathing fully, hugging in. Everything is hugging into the midline. You're here with your breath. You're here stable and with ease. Sthira Sukha Asana. Stability and ease in your pose, balanced action. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. High to low plank, you flow. Upward facing, squeeze your armpits. Downward facing dog, hips go up and back, and you step the right foot forward into warrior one, ground down through the feet and rise up. And then pause. Okay, right knee is pressing to the pinky toe edge of your mat, and you're pressing the left foot away from you. It's almost like the inner arch of the left foot is lifting up, and then your hips squaring towards the front of the mat. You're pressing down, you're pulling into your core, you're reaching the arms high, the fingers are wide, Hasta Bandha's alive with energy. Full breath in, full breath out, high to low. Flow through your vinyasa with intention, with purpose. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, left side. Long stance. Rise up. Strong through your foundation. Your feet, your core, your hands, all active. Oh, Monique has a new space she's practicing in. I like it. Okay, keep bending into your left knee, generous bend, like aiming for 90. Yes, Bex, go for it. Press the knee towards the pinky toe edge of the mat. Mula Bandha hugging in, big breath in, reach up, look up. High to low plank, flow. Your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hug your skin to the muscles, to the bones. Zoop. You're super strong in your downward facing dog. Your face is soft. Your muscles are strong. Your joints are also soft. So we strengthen muscles, but we let the joints be fluid. Okay. One more breath in. Breathe out. And on empty, feet to hands. Lift halfway, bow down. Chair, one breath. As you sit deep, you hug in, fold. Halfway lift, drishti. High to low plank. Up dog. Down dog. Right foot, Vira one. Moving with your breath, like a moving meditation. Low push-up. Up dog. Down dog. Left side, Vira one. And you rise on the inhale and flow on the exhale. Your breath, your rhythm, your practice. We'll meet in downward facing dog and take a big breath in together and a long breath out. Lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward, and jump to the front. Lift halfway, fold down the legs, chair, moving with your breath. Fold forward, flat back, fill up. High to low plank, clear out. Glide forward, up dog. Press back, down dog. Step right foot forward, Vira 1. Rise up. Flow low. Clear your breath out, elbows squeezing in. Inhaling, upward facing dog, heart shines forward. Exhale, downward facing dogs, hip goes back. The left foot steps forward, you press down, you pull in, you reach up, you look up. High to low plank. Your practice, your intention. You do you. Downward facing dog. Okay, feet together to touch. Raise the right leg high, high, high up to the sky. Keep pressing your hands down and forward as you bend the knee. Stack the hip. Stay or flip. Okay, I'm gonna stay today. Just need that like opening through my hip and the right side body. So really try to tuck your tailbone and pull the Mula Bandha in, so your pelvic floor, and maybe you can gaze underneath the right armpit as the knee reaches up towards the sky and your right foot tries to hit your bum. We'll all meet in high plank. Roll into your side plank, your foot variation. Okay, traditional feet are stacked. If you want to have your feet in front of one another, you could do that. You could have a knee on the ground. You could have a forearm on the ground if your wrists are bad. But we're trying to be on our side in side plank, stacking shoulders, stacking hips, stacking feet if possible. For 3, hug in, zoop, 2, 1, high to low plank. You guys are all super, super strong, so good. Upward facing, downward facing. Feet together to touch and raise the left leg high up to the sky. Bend the knee, stack the hip, do your thing. Move with your breath, stay or flip. Yeah, and if you flip, you could do wild thing, hello talls with the wave of the hand. You could do wild thing, or I teach flip dog with feet parallel facing the back of the mat, But if you want to stay in your 3-legged dog like me, that's cool too. You do you. Okay, high plank, roll into side plank. And this could be a different variation, or it could be exactly the same as the other side. We can treat them as unique, or we can treat them the same, whatever feels right in your body, but really hug into center. You are so strong in your body and you're pulling into the center line. All your attention goes to the midline of your body and all your energy goes there. High to low. Nicely held, everyone. Upward facing. Engage your legs, engage your glutes. Downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, crescent lunge. Build from the ground up. Hips square to the front, hands to heart center, and twist. Left elbow, right knee. Option to have your knee on the back of the mat. Option to open your arms, spread your wings. Option to bind. Move in line with your body. Maybe test your edge. Wherever you are, you're with your breath, breathing fully, breathing deeply, extending with the inhales, twisting with the exhales. Warrior 2, spin open. Ground down through all 4 corners of your feet. Press the right knee to the pinky toe edge of the mat. You want to see your right big toe. And then spread your arms wide, spread the fingers wide, gaze to the right middle finger. Flip the front palm, reverse, go up and back. Extended side angle, elbow to knee or to the inside of your right foot. Soften your toes. We have this tendency to use our toes to help keep us stable. It's not what keeps us stable. So lift all 10 toes and spread them out. And then place them down on the mat. Half bind, full bind. Or stay. Or move into your bird of paradise if that's in your practice. And just notice, are you moving because you want to get out of your legs? By the way, I often go into bird of paradise because it means my thigh doesn't have to work as much. So for those of you staying, sometimes this is the hardest part. And if you're telling yourself you want to get out, stay for one more breath. High to low plank, so nicely held. Your thigh is on fire, but it's a good fire. Talls, nice bird of paradise. Downward facing dog. Step the left foot forward, crescent lunge. Rise up. Strong through your feet, hands to heart center, and then twist. Use your elbow. Bex, twist the other way. Yeah, perfect. Yep. So your heel, your back right heel is elevated like you're standing on a wall behind you, and scissor your thighs together. It's like squeezing them towards each other to keep you stable. And then you've got your steady gaze, steady breath. Extend your wings, bind. Warrior two. Ground down. And actually extend your fingertips up. It's almost like you're pressing walls away from you. And just feel that stretch through the forearm and through the wrists. And then try to drop the hips down a little bit more. Okay, straighten the fingers out, wrists out, flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Extended side angle. Soften the right knee. And when you soften the right knee a tiny bit, now tuck the tailbone, pull the Mula Bandha in, and then press the right leg, the right heel away from you. And start to extend the crown of the head forward as the right foot presses back. Half bind, full bind, birds, go to your paradise. If you're staying, focus your breath, focus your drishti. These are your tools of the practice to keep you in the moment. If your body is telling you you want, or your mind's telling you want to get out, just focus on the breath, your intention. High to low plank. When our body is telling us to come out, that's when the pose starts, by the way. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Let's take one full breath in. Open the mouth, clear it out. Ha. Walk forward to your hands. Lift halfway. Flat back. Bow down. We're coming into chair pose again. Hands come to heart center and twist over to the right. So your left elbow comes to the right knee. I'm gonna look at you guys. Yeah. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Have your feet, big toes touching, little space between the heels. Yes, perfect. Okay, now we have this tendency left knee coming forward. So pull your left hip back. And then think about having your heart higher than your hips. And breathe. When your mind's saying get out, I want you to stay. One more breath. And then release. Separate the feet. Yogi toe lock, peace fingers, big toes. Lift halfway, stretch through the spine. And then fold down the legs. Ha. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Nod the head yes. You are a yes for this practice. You did the hardest thing, which was rolling out the mat and getting onto this Zoom call. And I'm so happy you're here with me because you're doing the work. Okay, release the toes, come back to your chair pose. And my lighting is terrible. I'm so sorry. You can like hardly see me. Chair pose, hands to heart center and twist. Ooh, there, it lightens up half the time. Twist, right elbow, left knee. Sit your hips deep, pull the belly in, and then twist towards the left. Using your right elbow to twist, leverage the heart towards the side, and you're gazing to the side of your mat, the left side of your yoga mat, left wall of your space. And you're just here. You're hugging in, you're sitting deep, you're breathing deeply. But you've got a soft, steady gaze, and you've got balanced action, Sthira Sukha. And release, gorilla pose. So separate the feet, hips distance or wider, palms completely underneath your feet so that you can wiggle your toes against your wrist, lift halfway, and then fold down your legs. If your hamstrings are tight, bend your knees. Bend your knees and allow your torso to rest on your thighs. And then again, nod the head yes. Shake the head no. Nod the head yes. Ending on a positive note, possibility. When you're a yes for something, you're always a no for something else. Such a good way to look at life. You say yes to one thing, that means no to the opposite. When you say no to something, you're saying yes to another way of being. Crow pose, or your version of crow. So if you do crow, go into your crow. If you want to practice your crow, you know crow practice, or come into squat malasana, yogi squat. Okay, if you're testing crow, the goal is to lean forward, forward, forward. If you're in squat, use your elbows to press your knees apart and bring your palms, your thumb knuckles to your chest. If you're in crow, you're staying there for 3. Ooh, talls, okay. You're gonna try to shoot back, talls. For 2, for 1, we're all gonna meet in downward facing dog. So get there however you want, through a vinyasa or just step back to downward facing dog. And then walk forward to your hands, lift halfway, and fold down your legs. Rise up to stand. Eagle on the right. So right leg comes over, right arm under, and you wrap and twist. And remember, you've got options here. If your shoulders are tight, you hold your shoulders and you squeeze your elbows together. If you're challenged on your balance, have your right foot on the outside of your left ankle and sit deep into your hips, pull your inner thighs together and broaden across the chest. And then lift your elbows up so they're in line with your shoulder. Yes, good. Good, good, good. Squeeze. And then switch sides. Eagle on the left. So Talls and I used to practice in a studio together that had mirrors in it. Oh my God, it was the worst thing for balancing poses because you could literally see everyone else practicing. And I'd be comparing myself to everyone else. Finally learned none of this matters. This is all practice. And we can take our learnings from how we deal with a wobble on the mat to how we deal with things off the mat. Eagle on the right. Yes, we're doing it again. You go into it without even thinking, or maybe you are thinking, and instead of thinking, just focus on the breath, focus on your gaze, come back to your intention. Eagle on the left. It's the last time, last one, last eagle. Not the last balancing pose though. But just see, what can you create with this eagle? Can you pull the belly in a little bit more? Can you lift the elbows up a little bit more? Can you focus on your breath and on your drishti to stay steady? Release. Okay, standing leg raise on the right. Grab your right knee. I know. Grab your right knee. Sorry, Jesse, if you can't see me. Flex the right foot, spread the toes out, and then open the right knee to the side. Try to have your knee in line with your hip. Keep grounding down through the four corners of your left foot, and then extend your arm out. Maybe you can shift your gaze to the left. Keep pulling into the center as you express out, and then come back to center. Reach the arms up, kick the leg out. You've got this. You've all got this. Flex your foot. Hello, footsies. Hello, bodies. You guys are amazing. For 5, pull into center. 4, 3, 2. Can you lift it a little bit higher for this final count? Yes. Okay, lower down. You're amazing. Shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay, other side. We do one side, we've got to do the other. Balanced action. Left knee, left hand, right wrist, right wrist, right hip. And then open up to the left. Extend your right arm out. Test your gaze. Some of your heads are chopped off, so I can't see if you're shifting your gaze. Only you know. See if you can do it. Test your edge. And then, oh, Bex put her head. Oh, yes, good. Come back to center. By the way, I'm wobbling too, if anyone sees, and it doesn't matter. Raise your arms up, lift your leg up, flex your foot, spread the toes out. Kofi, I want to see your foot. Thank you. Wiggle your toes, say hello to your footsies. And then we're here, pulling in, reaching up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Amazing you, amazing body. Lower the left leg, shake the legs, shake it out. Oh, none of it matters. Whether you did it amazing or you did it terrible, it really doesn't matter at all. Okay, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, fold forward down your legs. Come into a halfway lift. High to low plank. Flow through your vinyasa, or if you're like, I don't want another vinyasa, you could always go straight to down dog. This is your practice. I just call out the poses. If you think it's one too many vinyasas, then you could always go to down dog. You can always go to child's pose. You can always go to shavasana. Okay, right foot steps forward, warrior 2. Triangle pose, so straighten the front knee and reach forward, and then open up into your Trikonasana. This is a grounding pose, so I want you to envision your feet plugging into earth, rooting down into earth center. And as you're pressing down with your feet, now try to rip the mat apart. So you're pressing down and pressing the feet away from each other and drawing the crown of the head forward. That almost creates a little bit more extension through the spine. And now as you're pressing down and ripping apart, now rise up to stand. Use your core. Turn the right foot to the side of your yoga mat, hands to hips. Inhale, draw up, and exhale, fold forward through your legs. Hands can come to underneath your shoulders. They could come to the ankles. You could come into tripod headstand. What does your body need right now, and what is your body craving? The goal, the objective is to bring the head, crown of the head as far down as possible and revolve the seat bones up. Steady your gaze. Steady the drishti, 2 eyes, 1 point. When you have steady gaze, you have a steady mind. And then focus on your breath. If those thoughts are coming through, you try to breathe deeper and louder than your thoughts. If you're in tripod headstand, make your way down. And then we'll all have hands to hips, little bend in the knees as you rise up. Pyramid on the right. So right foot at 12 o'clock, left foot steps in about a third and it's at a 45-degree angle. And then square the hips towards the front. Keep the hands on the hips. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold chin to right shin. Okay, left hand can come down. I want you to keep your right thumb and use it as a self-assist. So the right thumb presses into your hip crease and you're pressing your right hip back. Little softness in the knees and gaze towards your left heel and breathe really deeply. This is really good for your hamstrings, but if you have super tight hamstrings, I know it's intense, soften the toes, soften the knees. And then come halfway, hands to the mat, straight to down dog or through your vinyasa. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take one full breath in. Flutter the lips, clear it out. And then step the left foot forward, warrior two. Trikonasana on the left side. I'm switching sides so I can see you. So straighten the leg and then transition your time, your process. Trust the process to open up. Maybe there's a little bend in the knees. And when you bend the knees, then you scoop the pelvis towards the chest and then straighten the legs. Create more extension that way. And you go a little bit deeper. And you're aiming to shine your chest up, reach the right hand up, gaze up if your neck is okay with that, otherwise towards the side of the wall. Okay, now with your feet, traction them towards each other and just notice the difference in tractioning them towards each other versus ripping the mat apart. It's like scrubbing in or pressing away. How does it feel? And then from there, with a strong core, rise up. Interlace the hands behind your sacrum. Inhale, a little back bend. Exhale, fold forward, bring the hands overhead. Get that rinsing through the shoulders. And do your thing here. If you want to bend into a knee, sometimes that's really nice to have a little movement to either side and just get a little bit deeper into the hip flexors. Or if you want to stay still, you stay still and just keep working the palms, the forearms, the hands overhead. Lift halfway and then hands to hips, soft knees, rise up. Pyramid on the left. So left foot at 12 o'clock, right foot steps in. Hands can be anywhere you want, in fact. They can be on hips, they can be behind you. Lift up halfway. No, lift up through the crown of the head and then fold over your leg. So you want to work your torso, your chin towards the left shin. You could do that assist again. So left thumb. Yeah, I see some of you guys doing that. It's such a nice assist. So left thumb to the hip crease and press it back. And as you press it back, you magnetize the right hip a little bit more forward and then press down through your heels. Lift halfway, hands to the mat, high to low plank or through your vinyasa. We're gonna meet in downward facing dog. And take a full breath in. Lion's breath out. Open the mouth, stick out the tongue, make a lion's roar. And we'll do one more lion's breath. So full breath in, lion's breath out. Come up on the tiptoes and through your spine, ripple forward, articulating every vertebrae to high plank. And then we're going to lower down on the count of 5. If you want to have your knees dropped, have your knees dropped. That's fine. 5, 4, integrity, 3, 2, 1, all the way down, right into locust. No pausing this time. Interlace the hands behind your back and inhale, locust, lift up. So in Sanskrit, this is Shalabhasana. You're lifting everything up. Your torso is lifted, your legs are lifted. The only thing touching the yoga mat should be your pelvis. Lift, 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 and then lower down. Sway it out. Sway out the hips. Have one moment to restore, to reset. And then we're gonna go up again. Zip the legs in, interlace the hands, opposite thumb on top, and lift. Squeeze your inner thighs, flex your feet. See how that feels a little bit different. And then really try to pull your hands towards your feet. Lift, lift, lift. And lower down. Sway the hips. Release the hands. One breath. Sometimes all we need is one breath, one moment to just reset. Okay, floor bow. Grab your ankles, tops of feet, anything you can grab, in fact. Flex your feet, spread the toes out. Inhale to set it up, and then exhale to lift. And you're creating a bow, an upward side bow, upside down bow. Kicking the legs into the hands, hands into the legs. There's this resistance, and that resistance helps lift you up. Gaze maybe goes up. And then lower down. Sway the legs from side to side. We're gonna do one more. One more. If you've got externally rotated shoulders, you could try grabbing the inside of the ankles. Otherwise, grab the outsides, it's fine. And just go up. Lift. Lift, lift, lift. And breathe. Squeeze the inner thighs. Flex the feet. Broaden across the chest. Full breath in. And breathe out, lower down. One breath to restore and reset. Hands underneath your shoulders and come into an upward facing dog or cobra. Just give your torso, your belly a little bit of a stretch. Downward facing dog. Turbo dog, little bend of the knees. And that creates a bit more extension through the spine. And then make your way onto your back. So you could try jump through or just drop to your knees and come onto your back. Frankie, no disappearing for back bends. Get back onto your mat. Okay, set up for your bridge. Feet at hips distance. Graze your ankles with your fingertips. And then drive the hips up. Okay, pretend there's a ball in between your legs and you're squeezing it together. With your tailbone, I want you to tuck the tailbone so that it's pointing towards your knees. And then from there, press the upper arms down to create more lift in the thoracic spine, the upper spine. We often think that bridge is about our lower back. It's not. We want more space for the upper spine. So pressing down the upper arms really helps there. You could even grab the outside edges of your yoga mat to help press down through the upper arms. And then lower down. We're gonna do a few, ladies. So sway the knees from side to side. But when you're doing your back bends, really think about extension. And that's why we tuck the tailbone towards the knees, because that allows us to open up the chest. So think about it as a heart opener as well as a back bend, a lower back bend. So it's getting both lumbar spine and thoracic spine. Okay, set up and go up. You could even walk the shoulders underneath your arms and interlace the hands underneath your sacrum and then press down a little bit more through the upper arms. Press down through the occipital part of your skull. That's the back of your skull. Steady your gaze, steady your drishti, steady your breath. And we're here for 3, for 2, for 1. Lower down, sway your knees from side to side. And I really hope that all of you are sweating like I am, because it's so good to purify your body when you sweat. Okay, final one, wheel or bridge. Go up, don't even think about it, just do. We spend so much time like thinking about things and thinking if it's worth it, that then we miss the opportunity. Sometimes we just need to do without thinking. So just get up and do whatever you're gonna do, whether it's bridge, whether it's wheel, maybe you're trying to lift a leg. Maybe you're, who knows? I don't know, maybe you're trying to lift an arm in your wheel, it's possible. Or lift a leg. And then if you're in your wheel, you tuck your chin and lower down. If you're in your bridge, lower down. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Hand can be on heart center and on belly, just feeling your flow of energy. Feeling the breath move in and out from the body. Our back bends are super invigorating, and they elevate our heartbeat, and they give us energy. Happy baby. Happy baby. You grab whatever you can grab. So outside edges of the feet or your ankles or even the backs of your knees. It depends on, your hips. Grab what you can. I've had so many people recently tell me I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. And I have to remind people that this is not about flexibility. It's about having a flexible mind, but not a flexible body. Simply practicing, rolling out your mat and just being present, that's yoga. Okay, raise the feet above your head. Abs time. Flex the feet, spread the toes, hands behind the nape of your neck, lift the chest and shoulders 2 inches off the mat. That's your low spot. So don't go lower than that, Jesse, lift up. And then pulse up, up, up towards your knees. It's summer, we're creating abs of summer. 10, 9, 8, 7. Frankie, I hope you're pulsing. I see your legs in the air. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the right leg down, left leg stays lift, straighten the legs as much as possible, press them away from each other and pulse up towards the left side for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs and pulse. I know, I'm here with you, but this is so good for your abs and for your core and for just your whole being. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug the knees in. You've got a little pause to reset. Core. So much of our yoga practice is about our core. So it's really important to get a strong core for the practice, for the movement practice, but also just for our own stability in life. Strength in life means we need a stable core, a strong core. Okay, we're gonna do some bicycles. So extend your right leg out, right knee, right elbow, left knee, and then left elbow, right knee. And then you switch, and then you switch. Keep your feet flexed, press the feet away as you switch, 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 switch. I have no idea how many we're gonna do. We're just gonna go, keep switching. Maybe you go a little faster. Maybe you go a little slower. Actually, let's do 5 really fast. So fast, 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 fast. And then slow, switch, 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 switch. Okay, good job. Pull the knees in, so nice. Little roll on your lower back, on your sacrum. And then rock and roll 3 or 4 times. We're gonna make our way to down dog. So you could go through Vinyasa or straight to down dog, or Monique. If you're like Monique, I know she likes thread the needle better. So if you want to stay on your back for thread the needle, that's also fine. We're doing our hip openers. So we're going to go into half pigeon. Raise the right leg. Glide into your half pigeon. Right knee to the right wrist. The right foot to the left wrist. And then draw up. Hips are square. You could have a prop underneath your right glute. And then start to walk your arms forward, coming onto your forearms. Bex, you okay? Okay. Okay, right knee, right wrist. And then settle into your pigeon or to your thread the needle, whatever hip opener you're in. Drop your forehead down, shut your eyes, and allow your hips to really drop down, like the weight of gravity is pressing your hips down. You're releasing through your outer hips, your glutes. You've still got a strong Ujjayi breath going, victorious breath. And with each breath in, you're filling up with exactly what you need right now. And with each breath out, you're clearing out all that negative stuff, negative energy, toxins, whatever your body doesn't need. Soften the fingers, relax the face, relax the jaw. Even the toes and the glutes really release, allow a emptying out. Okay, start to make your way back up. We're going to go into, bring the left leg round. So seated forward fold with the right foot in. Inhale, draw up. And then exhale, fold your torso over your left thigh. Your left foot can be flexed, so it's an active forward fold. I want you to think about dropping the right hip down and the right knee down. So you get it a little bit more into the lower back. Good. Take a full breath in, extend your crown towards the foot, and then a full breath out to deepen a tiny bit more. Inhale, rise up, roll over your hands and knees, come on into your downward facing dog, and we'll set up for the other side. Left side, half pigeon. And you come into it in your time, transitioning at your own speed, making whatever adjustments you need, and setting up in your half pigeon. And all of our pigeons look different because all of our bodies are different. It would be so boring if we did everything the same. So my hips are open, my hips are externally rotated, so I can go into a traditional pigeon with my shin parallel to the front of the mat, but that does not make me any better or any worse than anyone else. So you do your pigeon. You feel your left hip, your left glute opening. That's the target area. And then soften in. Maybe you can extend the arms forward. A few deep breaths, really conscious breaths into your hips, into your glutes to release the tension, release that stuck energy, release whatever baggage is there, whatever you might be fighting. And then rise up. Right leg swings around. Seated forward fold with the right leg extended, left foot on the inseam of the right leg. Inhale, draw up, and exhale, fold over your right leg. I'm going to use my light next time so you guys can see me better. Just realize the shading is really not so cool here. Okay, let your head relax, neck soft, and you're grounding through the seat bones. Breathe in length. Breathe out, deepen. And then rise back up, extend both legs long. Inhale, arms sweep up, get tall. And exhale, fold forward, hinging from the hips. Long spine, long, long, long. And you go to your depth. You could be upright, you could be folded completely, as long as you're feeling it in the backs of the thighs and in the lower back. Reverse tabletop. Legs straight or knees bent. I'm doing knees bent. So press down through the heels, drive the hips up, fingertips facing towards your feet, and then you drive hips up. Maybe you look back and open up through the throat bandha, Jahalandhara bandha, lines of communication. Lower the hips back down. Final bit of core, hands in front of you, and slowly, slowly roll down vertebrae by vertebrae onto your back, trying to keep your legs, feet flat. Right knee draws in, left leg goes long, supine twist on the right. And then you twist over towards the left, bottom hip and gaze to the right. There's always other versions of twists too. If you like to have your legs in eagle legs or just a simple twist with both knees bending to one side, that's also totally fine. You need to do what's right in your body. And then come back to center, switch sides. Breathing in to set it up and breathing out to twist. And we use the breath to give us space. That's why we always speak to Ujjayi breath and to just coming back to deep inhales, deep exhales, because it creates space in our body and also creates space in our mind. Back to center, both knees draw in, Apanasana, final squeeze. And let's take a final big breath in together, breathing all the way up, filling up completely. And at the top, pause, and then sip in a little bit more air. Open the mouth, exhale. Shavasana, your Shavasana, your final resting pose. And you all have space, so take your space, like let the legs be a little bit wider, let the arms be a little bit wider, allow the feet to splay open, allow the palms of the hands to face up, receptive to whatever life has for you today. And know that you showed up, you did the work. You did the physical work. You also did the mental work. Yoga is a mental practice just as much as it's a physical practice. And now all that work that you put in is being is working its way through your whole body as you lie in stillness for a few moments. Drop the Ujjayi breath and shut your eyes and just be here for a few moments. Okay, my daily stoic for the day, I'm going to read it to you. Offense or defense? Fortune doesn't have the long reach we suppose. She can only lay siege to those who hold her tight. So let's step back from her as much as possible. Machiavelli, who supposedly admired Seneca, says in The Prince that fortune is a woman and it's necessary in order to keep her down, to beat her and struggle with her. Even for the 16th century, it's pretty horrifying imagery. But for a ruthless and endlessly ambitious ruler, it's par for the course. Is that the nasty lifestyle you're after? Now compare that view with Seneca's. Not only is he saying that the more you struggle with fortune, the more vulnerable you are to it, but he's also saying that the better path to security is the impregnable wall of philosophy. Philosophy helps us tame the mad frenzy of our greed and tamps down the fury of our fears. In sports or war, the metaphor here would be the choice between a strategy of endless, exhausting offense and a strategy of resilient, flexible defense. Which will you play? What kind of person are you? Only you can answer that question, but you would be remiss not to consider the ultimate end of most of the princes in Machiavelli's books and how few of them died happily in bed, surrounded by their loved ones. Start to deepen the breath. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers. Take a big stretch overhead, full body stretch, waking up your physical body. And then draw the knees into your chest and make your way up to an easy seated position. Keeping your eyes closed. Hands come to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Thumb knuckles pressed to the chest bone. Seat bones pressed down, rooting you here. And head lifts up, uplifted in consciousness. And come back to your intention. Ending in gratitude for the practice. And let's seal it in with one final Om together. Breathe in. Thumbs to forehead center. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Together we bow and say namaste.